Well, hello there. Welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. I'm Brad. Today we're going to do a podcast about my favorite player from every team. And I do have a favorite player on every team. I have multiple players that I really like. I'm very pro player in that sense. I do like a lot of teams as well. But I have my main teams, and I have ones that I do like or that I have like an affinity for. There's teams that I can't like. I have a hard time liking. But again, there's players on those teams that I do like. Um, just give a quick rundown. We'll do the teams in a second, but I just want to let you know this is our 9th day in a row of posting one podcast a day. And we're doing every day until the end of the year. So we're on number 9. So 9 of 45, basically. So we're going to just keep rolling through these. So if you guys have any content you guys want me to cover, let me know. I appreciate it. And love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. So real quick, my favorite teams are actually you go Red Wings, you go San Jose Sharks, and then you go the Dallas Stars. And then they kind of start to trickle down from there. I pay attention to them. The Toronto Maple Leafs I do really like because I listen to the Steve Dangle podcast so much. And then there's kind of a mushy middle. I like the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think they're a great underdog. I do like the Buffalo Sabres. I love their Swedish affinity with Dahlin and everything. Spoiler alert, there's Buffalo's my favorite team, favorite person in Buffalo. I like the Philadelphia Flyers as well. Oh, there's a lot of East Coast teams, by the way. I liked Arizona. I you know I liked Arizona at some point, but Utah's cool as well. I like them a little bit less. I like the underdogs in that sense, right? So those are a couple of the teams that I really like. Not too many Metro teams, but there are directions of teams that I really like where they're going. Like I like what Washington's doing a ton. I think that's great. And so, but let's just jump right into it. Let's jump into some favorite teams. So I'll just pull up the let's go. We'll go. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna go from the team that is doing the best. No, when do I get screwed in this every time? I was gonna go. Most people do A through Z. Um, and what usually ends up happening is that Winnipeg gets screwed. They're always last. And so I was going to go, let's go from last place to first place. But then in this case, because Winnipeg's doing so well, they are going to be last again. So you know what? Let's screw it. Let's go from the best team to the worst team. So, and by the way, my affinity for some of these players is there's no rhyme or reason. There's no rationale. It's just you like who you like. Feels like that, like with it's like people too. So going through the list. If I'm looking at this right now, right off the bat, I like Kyle Connor a lot. I like Kyle Connor. Again, the problem is that I'm a Red Wings fan and a San Jose Shark fan and a Dallas fan. So like there's some like affinity to those as well. I do like Kyle Connor. But my favorite player actually, where are you at? Where are you at, buddy? Yeah, there you go. Vladislav Nemestikov, 13 points in 20 games right now. Of course, everyone likes Kyle Connor, and I do like Kyle Connor a lot. He's a great goal scorer. But Vladislav Nemestikov, he was on Tampa, he was on San Jose, he just bounced around. It's the second time being with the Winnipeg Jets. I just think he's got so much passion, so much energy, and he like when he scored in Detroit, he would grab his jersey like this and he'd boom, 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 and you just knew he loved being Detroit. And again, I don't know if he's doing that out in Winnipeg, but I just love that energy. That just rep for your team, rep for your team. That's just I just obsessed with that. That's amazing. So, now we're going Winnipeg or not Winnipeg. We're on to the next team. Again, these are by the way, I'm going through the teams that are in number, right? that are actually playing, or not playing, that are in the lead, right? So Winnipeg's in the league. That's crazy. You know what's crazy? The Minnesota Wild, who have $14 million still in the cap and dead cap. Okay. And they're second in the league, which is just crazy. Kaprizov's an easy one. Everyone likes the underdog Russian. 34 points in 19 games. But mine is Brock Faber. Big fan of Brock Faber. I just think he's a little nerd. He's like a little dorky nerd. He's adorable. He's got a big payday, $8.5 million over per year over for 8 years. He's not doing as great. I mean, he's defenseman, but he put up a ton of minutes, 24, almost 25 minutes a night, 10 points in 19 games. I thought he's just a great him. Oh, and dude, and Jake Middleton too. Jake Middleton's mustache is awesome. I'm gonna go Brock Faber over Jake Middleton, but I really like him. I like Jake Middleton. He was on San Jose Sharks and got traded. But but I think he has a phenomenal mustache. Plus, Jake Milton is Mr. Irrelevant. I think he's the Mr. Irrelevant of his class. If you don't know what Mr. Irrelevant is, it is the last pick in the draft. It's very common. They call Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL, but I'm doing Mr. Irrelevant for the hockey. He's in 2014, the last player picked by LA at the time. I want to do a quick shout out to John Merrill, 1.13 games. He's just like a gay icon. He's so supportive of the LGBTQ like community and everything, and I love that, because in hockey there is a bit of a stigma, and the guys who are of the LGBTQ they struggle a little bit more with feeling wanted in those cases. So going on to the next one, in the third place, you have the Carolina Hurricanes. Okay, so going to Hurricanes, I mean, Svechnikov is great. Aho's great. Gosper was awesome on the Red Wings last year. I actually really liked Kakiniemi before he got traded. I liked him on the Montreal Canadiens. Jackson Blake, I'm really excited about. Jalen Chatfield, underdog. I really liked him. I thought he was a great right-handed defenseman. I wish he would have hit UFA and the Red Wings would have signed him. Only 7 points in 19 games right now, but still, he thought he had just like kind of some swagger. But your favorite player, and this is again kind of going more generic, but Seth Jarvis. He has got so much swag. He's just like he's so funny. He's so cool. He just did like Twitter. Answer questions on Twitter, and the people were asking like, what if you were a dinosaur? What would your favorite dinosaur be? Like just like silly stuff like that he was answering. I mean, just a guy's guy enjoying it. Like, and he's like, dude. And there was time when they were getting nominated for the All-Star game, and he was like, "Do not nominate me for All-Star. I'm going on vacation. Don't do it, please. Like, don't nominate me." And I just love that energy. By the way, he's going 11 points in 13 games, a little under a point per game. So we'll see. I'm sure that'll end up rising because he's just like, again, he's a star. So he's absolutely a star. So, New Jersey Devils. I'm gonna say it. Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes is just, again, talking about swag. And by the way, if you haven't checked it out before, I just did a podcast with Neil of Devil's State of Mind, a Devil's podcast. So you can go check that out. It was a long one, but it was a ton of fun. We just spat hockey the whole time. Really big fan of him. Jack Hughes is absolutely my favorite. 25 points in 22 games. I was so jealous that the Red Wings didn't get him in the 2019 draft. They got Sider, so it ended up really working out for them anyways. But I think he's just a star. He's got personality. He's adorable. So I just think he's a great kid. I think he's going to do really well. I do want to shout out. I like Timo Meier, again, San Jose Shark. Big fan of him when he was there. I like Dougie Hamilton. I know he's just a power play merchant and like a offensive defenseman, but I do really like him. Siegenthaler's good. Tomas Tatar, of course, great. He's not performing where he needs to be right now. But I think he absolutely, he's a little bit older now too. So take that into consideration. So, in fifth place, you have the Washington Capitals. I liked Rasmus Sandin a lot. On when he was with Toronto, big fan of him. I like Sonny Milano. He's not getting the play time though. He's only got 3 games or 0 points in 3 games. So, that is one that I'm really curious on. I like Jakub Vrana as well when he was with the Red Wings. Chikrin's great. I mean, they got some of these crazy, like Andrew Mangiapane. Like it's funny they got all these pieces from other teams that are like feel like they're like they're like, oh, you're this player. Like Chikrin was a coyote. Like that's to me, like that's the personality that I have of him. Mangiapane was like, oh, you're a flame, right? Like so it's like it's hard to differentiate these people from being other teams. But I'm gonna go. I like Sandin. I would say my favorite on this team. Let's go. I don't want to say Ovi. That's too easy. Let's go Vrana. I liked Vrana. I thought he was. He went through the player assistance program and he had some struggles with Detroit. A little bit with St. Louis as well, but I'm glad he's back in it. I just have a huge heart for him. So I think he's a good guy. I like that. Good candidate. Moving on to the next one, we have the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, mind you, they just traded everybody. My favorite player all time of Vegas was Marc-Andre Fleury. Big fan of him. Let's look at the list. Again, I can't go Tomas Hertl because he was just a shark. I mean, I could actually, but do I have any more affinity for anyone else? I do like Jack Eichel, and the reason I like Jack Eichel was because I thought it was important for him to get the surgery that he he wanted as an athlete and as a person, because there's more to life outside of this. Like, and the owner's trying to tell him what he wanted. Mind you, like, this isn't political or anything, so it's more of a, hey, like, I thought, like, hey, you're an athlete, and the one reason I thought it was really good for him was because there's 2 surgeries he could get. He could get it fused. He had a neck surgery, by the way. This is why he ended up getting traded from Buffalo to Vegas. He could have got it fused, which means that, like, you're done. Like, there's gonna be no movement, or you can get a disc replacement in his neck. And he ended up getting, which if the disc replacement didn't work, then he could go and get the fuse anyways. So to me, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like, do the replacement first, and then if it doesn't work, then you can go fusion, right? And that was his argument the whole time. Management wanted to get him to get a fusion anyways. I was like, well, you could always default to the fusion anyway. So, like, that doesn't make sense to me. So in this context, I like that he was able to get traded to a team that let him do what he wanted, and it's working out really well for them. 29 points, 20 games. So he's looking really good. So love that for him. Moving on to the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th team, Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay. It's Willie Nylander. I don't have to look. It's Willie Nylander. I think he's just got, again, it's swag. He's got some swag, baby. He's the only double-digit goal scorer on the team too. Tavares has 9, but William Nylander has 13, so 22 points in 20 games, 13 goals. I like Austin too. I mean, I like Austin Matthews, of course. Who doesn't like him? I liked Timothy Liljegren, even though he wasn't getting the playing time. And Mitch Marner's underrated, in my opinion. He's just like, he's got 26 points, 20 games. I know we talk about, like, oh no, it's all regular season stuff. Yeah, but he's still so good, and he's really stepped up really well since Austin's been out. Austin's, by the way, is the 6th amount of points, 11 points in 13 games. So he's passed by Nyes, Riley, Tavares, Nylander, and Marner. So, but again, I just like, again, Nylander has so much swag. William Nylander has so much swag. Alex Nylander just got signed, and he is not showing swag yet, but we're excited to see what he does with his new position. So, we're going with number 8. We're going New York Rangers. I've always been a big fan of Zibanejad. Again, the hair, the swag, it's swag, man. It's just swag. So, looking through Panarin's great as well. 24 points in 18 games, looking great. But Zebia, I mean, he's a DJ outside of this. Yeah, I'm going Zibanejad. He just got so much swag. He's got 14 points, 18 games. Probably wants to bump those up a little bit. By the way, Will Cooley, 15 points in 18 games. Shooting percentage is 21.9. That's amazing. That's coming. That should be coming down. Chris Kreider, dude, 9 goals, 0 assists. Chris Kreider's got 9 goals in 18 games, 0 assists. If he puts up 0 assists, puts up 40 goals in 82 games, are you mad? No, you're not. Oh, he's a half point per game player. Yeah, they're all goals. That's hilarious, by the way. Shooting 19%, by the way. So again, DJ Zibanejad, big fan of him. Big fan of him. So we're going to the 9th team, Calgary Flames. Surprised that this high. I'll be honest. It is very surprising because you're like, oh, I thought they were rebuilding. And I did a retooling. I did a whole video on him. The Flames are actually 11-63. So and there's nothing, and they're not even playing crazy well either. Like Rasmus Anderson is your highest point scorer with 12 points in 20 games. So they're just winning really well. I'm probably gonna have to go with, I like Sharon Govich. He's not playing as well. He got 4 points in 13 games. I like Rasmus Anderson. I'm actually going to go with the newcomer, actually. I'm going to go with goaltender Dustin Wolf. Dustin Wolf, currently 11 games played, 8 wins, 2 losses, 1 overtime loss, 2.33 goals against average. Save percentage of 0.926. So, I mean, very much above average goaltending. So he's looking really good. So we'll see if he continues up with this nice little start to his career. I think he'll have the starter position. I mean, they're already 1A and 1B in it right now. So, moving on to the Florida Panthers. Again, I think they're not taking this as seriously as other teams because they won the Stanley Cup, dude. They're not worried about it. So, my wife will hate this too. So and everyone, it's everyone's favorite, the Tkachuk brother. It's Matt Tkachuk. He is my favorite. Like, we're talking about swag. We're talking about guys that just kind of like that, like, and he's a little shit stirrer. He knows he is. And that's kind of what makes him the best. Like, he was a great it factor. He's that Bertuzzi. He's a higher level of Bertuzzi, basically, looking to kind of get in the shit, get in the muck. He just plays hard, plays tough, and he really gets the guys going. Again, just so much swag. I think it was a great trade for them from Calgary and everything. I look at that, Calgary and Panthers making that massive trade there too. So move on to the next one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Number 11, Dallas Stars. Let's jump over there. Dallas Stars. I mean, my favorite one was Joe Pavelski. But my wife actually got me a jersey, so I went to visit my brothers in Texas. Was not able to see the Dallas Stars at the time. We ended up seeing the Texas Stars, which is their AHL team, versus the Grand Rapids Griffins down in Austin. And I got to see him play. I got to see Costa play for the Grand Rapids Griffins, and I got to see one of their goalies, Matt Murray, play. But my favorite one, I love Stankoven, but it's Jason Robertson. I got his jersey and everything too. My wife got me his jersey, and she had it delivered to my brothers. They presented it to me as a birthday present or as a Christmas present when I was down there, which was so nice. Such a sweetheart. Love you, honey. Yeah, it's definitely Jason Robertson and everything. So he's having a little bit slow year, 11 points in 18 games. Maybe he's suffering from injury. Shooting percentage is fine, 11.1%. But yeah, I mean, he's great. He's so awesome. I'm so excited for him. And I think he'll bounce back. It's fine. It's just like maybe they're taking a little slow, or maybe he's a little injured. But hopefully over the Christmas breaks and everything, he can kind of take a second and rest up and everything, spend some time with his brother and everything. So we'll see. All right, we're jumping to a quick break, and then we will jump back into this. We're at number 11, and we'll jump back with number 12, which is your LA Kings. But after this, we hear a couple sponsors. And they're not playing, of course. Why aren't they playing? But I'll get them play in 1 second. All right, let's put it in here. We're going to recording. Drop it right here. Is it playing? No? Okay. The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So if you are looking for a Stanley Cup contender, you can bet, of course, on the Stanley Cup going to, I don't know, maybe Edmonton, because they went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Florida's looking a little bit slippery right now, but I mean, if you're doing it based on this video right now, it's kind of looking like Minnesota or Winnipeg could kind of go all the way to those Stanley Cups. So make sure to get your bet in. And again, if you're new to DraftKings, you get listen up, because new customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So you can bet just $5. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boo Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible resources, gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice. And moving on to the next one. So we have Raycon. So if you're, think about this. You're waiting all year. You're waiting all year to get like a TV or like a new gaming system or a computer, and all those deals. You're waiting for Black Friday, because there's some of the best deals out there, and you can only get on Black Friday, except with Raycon, because Raycon doesn't get you an amazing deal on premium audio every day of the year. But that doesn't mean they're having sales for Black Friday. Far from it. They're actually doubling down on their amazing value by offering viewers up to 30% site wide. It's a Black Friday deal you can appreciate every day. Raycon's everyday earbuds. The latest model is a must-have for audio lovers. For example, they have a 32-hour battery life and a multi-point connectivity that lets you pair two devices together at once. So if you're on an airplane, you can snuggle up with your partner or your spouse, and you can watch them together. And by the way, speaking of airplanes, it's great for airplanes? The active noise cancellation that you get with the everyday earbuds from Raycon. So you can, and the nice thing is that it's hard to find a active noise canceling that's actually an accessible price range. And Raycons start at just half the price of other guys. So you're already getting an incredible deal, even before you factor in the Black Friday offer of up to 30% off. So again, if you're looking at, for me, again, it's huge for me for work. I need the cancellation because I'm in very loud boiler rooms. And so you just need, like, it's nice to have that safety aspect because again, I'm a musician. I want to be able to hear, and they're just so helpful in that sense. So again, and nice thing is you don't have to get them just in standard white or black. You can get them in any color. And it's so many different colors. So it's a perfect time to scoop them up if you haven't already. And don't worry, if you're not as impressed as I am, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. So you really can't lose. It's time to save big for Black Friday. Go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get the 30% off site-wide. That's right. You'll get the 30% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/THPN. And moving on to the standings. So we were off with the finish of the Dallas Stars. We're going on to the LA Kings now. Going to the LA Kings. I liked Dadeno, but I liked him when he was playing with the Montreal Canadiens. Kevin Fiala, that deal kind of soured on me, that getting traded from. I like the Brock Faber going to Minnesota, but Kevin Fiala, I thought it was a little expensive. You can send it a first round and a second round pick for him. Just didn't really make sense to me. I'm gonna have to go Quentin Byfield. I've always liked him. I know he went second overall in the 2020 draft because that was Raymond's draft. So I've always liked him, but it's always like, again, I'm like an underdog guy. So when I saw he was struggling, I was like, man, dude, like, I know he's good. Like, he's got to be good, right? He's only got 9 points in 20 games right now. I know he's drafted as a center, or he's playing more right wing right now, but I was a big fan of him. Alex Laferriere, holy smokes, 15 points, 20 games. Good for him, dude. But again, Quentin Byfield, big fan of him. I have liked him before, so I'm going to stick with him. I don't have a ton of favorite players on there. I like underdog. I want Alex Turcotte to work out, 5 points in 15 games. But we'll see. I'm sure Quentin Byfield, he's just kind of getting started. He's starting to learn that leadership role, and Ellie's in the kind of a weird spot. Again, only being like a 12th in the lineup. I mean, I could see. I mean, they're kind of a middling team, like a middling fringe playoff. They're a playoff team, but they're just not like super good. And I'm kind of questioning the direction because you have like these old players. We have some really young players as well. So I just don't know who the core is and where the transition happens. So we on to the next team with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I liked that they traded for Jake Gensel in the offseason. And Steven Stamkos was the guy. I'm gonna have to go with Anthony Cirelli, mostly because I hated when the Red Wings played against him. I think he's a great center because he's a grinding center. 19 points in 18 games. Playing just so well. He grinds so well, and I don't think he's that big of a dude either. At least when I saw him like playing, he's not like a massive dude. He's 6'1", he's 190 pounds. He weighs like 40 pounds lighter than me, and he's got 3 inches on me. Well, that's just because he's an athlete and I'm out of shape. So, but that I do like Anthony Cirelli a lot. I really wanted him to hit the trade market, but they were not going to let him go. So, move on to the Colorado Avalanche. Looking at them, I mean, is it rude to say is it bad to say Cale Makar? I mean, it's Cale Makar. I mean, how do you not pick Cale Makar? 28 points in 20 games, 8 goals, 20 assists. Goodness gracious, he is so freaking good, dude. And it's so crazy because there's such a huge drop off in points when you go to and because there's so many injuries and everything. But I'm looking at like McKinnon, 34 points in 20 games. Cale Makar, 28 points, 20 games. Mika Rantanen, 28 and 20. Middlestad, 18 and 20. Then you have Samuel Girard, 10 and 20. So you have 5 guys that are double digits by a crazy amount. Nathan McKinnon has more than like the top, like the bottom, like actually that's not fair. That's not fair to do. But either way, I mean, it's Cale Makar. It's not a cop out. Don't say it. It's not a cop out. It's just fact. He's just that good. So. Edmonton Oilers. Most people say McDavid, and I do like McDavid a lot. But you gotta like Leon Draisaitl. He's his again. I'm going back to swag. I like guys that have swag. I know that you can put up goals, 15 goals in 21 games. It's phenomenal. Looking at the rest of this lineup, I mean, it's him. I like Matthias Ekholm a lot. That was a phenomenal trade for them. But Leon Draisaitl is to me the one that I'm picking. He got 26. Holy smokes, dude! This is how good Leon Draisaitl is. He's got 15 goals in 21 games. He's got a 26.8 shooting percentage. That's how good he's just dialed. That's got to come down, but holy smokes, that is phenomenal, and that is a little bit crazy. That's just wild to me. Moving on to the Vancouver Canucks, it's Quinn Hughes. It's Quinn Hughes again. Now, most of these guys I've talked about being like it's like swag and it's style, and he does have swag on the ice. He does not have swag off the ice. He's kind of odd looking. It looks depressed all the time. My wife and I joke about this all the time. He's adorable. Again, I'm a huge Brothers fan. I really like Pius Suter. I forgot about him. I forgot he left the Red Wings. I think he was a good third line center. For cheap too. 9 points, 17 games. I liked him a lot. There's actually where's the other one? Jonathan Lekkerimäki. He just got called up recently. 1.5 games. I liked Lekkerimäki. What draft was he? I think he was 2022. I want to say to 2022 5th round pick, 15th overall pick. I like him a lot. I'm excited to see how he goes. Oh, and Niels Hoglander. Okay, underrated outside the first round pick. Really big fan of Niels Hoglander. He doesn't even show his experience. He doesn't say where he was drafted. But he's great. I really like him. I really wanted the Red Wings to trade for him when he was slouching. They did not, because I don't think they would have got the value for him. They would have to pay too much for him. It's what would happen. So, going on to the Buffalo Sabres, we're going to Owen Powers, phenomenal, but Rasmus Dahlin is my favorite when it comes to the Buffalo Sabres. It's just so much. He's so cool. He's huge, by the way, too. And I think he's a good captain. I think he's a good leader. He started fighting with guys at practice, but it just shows how much passion he has, and how much he wants the team to succeed. By the way, I'm looking at this list of teams. Nashville's at the end, and that is crazy to me at their end. They're tied with the Chicago Blackhawks. Actually, they have less wins than the Chicago Blackhawks, so they're below the Chicago Blackhawks. Ooh, that is so crazy to me, dude. What is happening in Nashville? So, again, it's Dahlin. He's very good, and absolutely deserved to be the number one overdraft in 2018. I mean, great captain. I think the future is bright for Buffalo. They just got to get organized. They're just so young. They need a trade for a good veteran leader. And I won't be surprised if Patrick Kane goes there next year, because he's from Buffalo. Maybe he can help out. So we'll see. So Seattle Kraken. All right, looking through all these. So I watched the Shane Wright draft from. They did it outside, out in Detroit, and I remember betting the guy. The guy's like, "Oh, Shane Wright's going over first overall." I said, "I don't think he is. It sounds like Yaroslav Slavkovsky's going." Based on the rumors that I was hearing, he's like, "Oh no, dude, he's definitely going. They're definitely gonna take him. He's the best in this draft." I'm like, dude, I don't think so." And he's like, "Oh, he's like, "Oh, I bet you have to finish your drink if I'm right, and if you're right, I'll finish my drink." I'm like, "All right, cool." So Shane Wright, Montreal goes up, they pick Yaroslav Slavkovsky. I'm like, he's like, "Oh, no way." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I told you, dude." And then he's like, he's like, "Oh no, he's definitely going second." He's like, "Dude, no, he's not. Like it's Arizona. Like, Shane Wright's considered a already NHL ready prospect, and Logan Cooley has higher upside. And so Arizona's not going to be good for a while. So they'd rather take the long-term project. Who's going to have a higher upside? So they're going to go Logan Cooley." He's like, no, dude. I'm like, well, he's like, same bet, right? Double or nothing. I was like, all right, well, all right, go right ahead, right? Logan Cooley goes second overall. He has business drinking again. And then he's like, all right. He's like, "No, Shane Wright's got to go third. He's absolutely the best in this draft. He's got to go third." I'm like, well, dude, no, he doesn't have to go third. Do you know why? Because why do the New Jersey Devils need a center? They already have Jack Hughes, and they have Nico Hischier for 1C and 2C. Why they're not going to put Shane? They're not going to draft so high to get a 3C. For third overall, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm like, dude, they're going to go for a defenseman, probably Simon Nemec. And he goes, "No way." They do it again, dude. They do it again. He does it again, dude. Simon Nemec gets picked by the Devils. Guy finishes 3 beers. Dude, cracked me up. And then finally I was like, okay, Seattle, they got Matty Beniers, but they don't have they need another center, so they pick Shane Wright. Dude, I was so cracking up. But Matty Beniers, just to tell you that fun Shane Wright story. He's got 2 points in 18 games. Not looking great. I think he's just taking a slow start. He's only been playing 12 and a half minutes a night. But my favorite is Matty Beniers. Again, good swag. 20 points or 10 points in 20 games. Slow start. Jared McCann's looking phenomenal. But of course, I think Matty Beniers will step into that role really well. Chandler Stevenson's playing well, but as a first seed. But I think Matty Beniers is going to be your guy long term. So I think he's got great upside too. We're on the next team, the Boston Bruins. I just did a podcast with the Boston Bruins tape to tape with Maria and Caroline. They were great. They were so much fun. Go check that out. I did a couple days ago in part of this podcast every day. Go with them. I'm gonna have to go goalie in this one. I gotta go Sway. I mean, Jeremy Swayman, again, so much swag, so much. I think he did the smart idea of holding out properly, getting his money, getting his bag. I think that did hurt him though. You know, he lost a little bit of camaraderie, lost. I mean, he's losing his net kind of. I mean, not yet, but he's only got 5 wins, 11 in 14 games. Terrible win percentage. He's got goals against average is 3.47. Save percentage is 0.884. That's AHL, dude. That's AHL right now, and you have to get it back. Bruins just fired their coach though, so hopefully they can get it back and get some of that. I mean, I think that was a wrong decision to fire Montgomery, but it's the only thing that Neely can do and Sweeney can do because it's just the easy thing to do. You can't trade the whole team. So I'm going Sway. I think he looked really good in the NHL Face-Off series. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's awesome. So Anaheim Ducks. So I know a lot of people are Anaheim Ducks hater in the sense because it's Trevor Zegras kind of looks at the top of that. I like Trevor Zegras a lot. I think he's giving more hate than he deserves. He's shooting under what he should be. He's shooting at 5.6%. So that's got to come up. That's going to come up. But my favorite is Mason McTavish. He's my favorite. I think he's a great center. 8 points, 14 games, or 8 points in 13 games. Sorry, my apologies. I think he's one of the future. I think he's going to have a lot of good attributes. I like Cutter as well. Gauthier. And then there was one other one I liked in here. Where I mean, Pavel Minchikov was played phenomenal last year. But almost playing 21 minutes a night. That's awesome. That's what you want to see out of a young defenseman. Put a lot of responsibility on him, and they will thrive if you let them. It does take time. It's painful, but because they're gonna make a lot of mistakes, you watch. But it's something that you can, something that if you can have them break through, it'll work out long term. So I'm gonna go with. So there's 2 players that I really like on the Islanders going with next up. Well, 3. I like Matthew Barzal. I like Noah Dobson. 4, I guess. Dude, there's a couple players. So I like Noah Dobson. I think Oliver Wahlstrom is underrated. He's not playing very well right now, though. He's only playing on the 4th line. So, but my favorite is a new acquisition, Anthony Duclair, who is injured right now. 3 points in 5 games. I think he's again talking about. So I cut his hair off to play for the Lou Lamoriello team, which is a bummer, but I think he's great. Matt Barzal, of course, he's injured right now as well. But I think he's someone that I think that the Islanders kind of just need a retool. They need a scratch. They need a shake up for sure. This is a team that I don't like. I just don't like the Islanders. I don't like directionless teams, and they feel directionless, and that's my issue. There's also some teams that I have rivalries, or I just don't like you because of outside of hockey reasons. We'll talk about one at the end of this list if you can guess. But yeah, so I would say for the Islanders, I'm gonna have to go with. Well, Duclair's not playing right now, so let's go. No Dobson again. Almost 25 minutes a night, 24 minutes, 52 seconds on average. I mean, that means some games he's playing over that, which is crazy. Only 8 points in 10 games. He's a defenseman. He's playing just fine. He's playing just fine for how poorly that they're doing as well. So, move on to the St. Louis Blues. So they just traded for Alexander Texier. I like him a lot. But I'm gonna have to go. I like Cairo. Cairo's a favorite. He's leading the team right now. 18 points in 21 games. Sundqvist is a good one as well. They got some good players. I like Torpchenko. Bummer that they lost Kapanen, but he's going to the Oilers, so he's not too mad about that right now. So, but yeah, going with Jordan Cairo is a good one. I think that's a good one. So, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna jump into the last ad read, and then we will finish up, and we're gonna rip through the rest of these because kind of run this a little longer than I anticipated. So, but we'll see. We'll jump into my next ad, and then we'll jump back into it. So you know what the sound is? That's the sound of ice skates hitting the ice at a live hockey event. And if you're looking to go to a live hockey event, you know where to go. It's Game Time. And if you're looking for a place that's going to have some of the best deals, you're going to be able to see a panoramic view. It's phenomenal. And Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Again, you can see your seats. You can see the seat for the views of your seats before you buy them. They have the lowest price guarantee, and Game Time will actually credit you 110% of the difference. And they also have event cancellation protection, job loss protection. And they have this nice little thing. It's called the all-in toggle feature. All-in pricing toggle feature. So what you can do is you hit it, and it gives you the total up front, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. So plus your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, moving on to our next team. We're moving on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's Merzlikins. I love goalies. I'm a big fan of goalies. If you're a goalie, I'm coming for you. You're getting some shout out love. Werenski is up there, 19 points in 19 games. But Merzlikins is my favorite. Not doing too great. 3 goals against average and a .895 save percentage. So, but Elvis is my favorite. Him and Matthias Kivlenieks. I thought that was gonna be a great tandem. Kivlenieks ended up passing away from a firework accident, unfortunately. But RIP. But I think he misses his buddy. I think he changed his number because of his buddy and everything. So I think I'm a huge fan of Elvis, and I think he's got a good heart in him. Hey, follow him on Instagram. Him and his wife do a great job there. Red Wings, easy. If you watch me at all, Red Wings, this is easy. I love Dylan Larkin, big fan of Lucas Raymond, but it is easily Moritz Seider. 10 points in 19 games. He's adorable. I'm a big fan of Edmondson coming up too. But Seider he's just a gem. If you watch him on any of the videos, him and Raymond's their dynamics just adorable. But definitely Seider, not because he's a Calder winner, but he's the guy that went 6th overall and probably would have gone 2nd in that draft at this point. So going Philadelphia Flyers. It's Michkov. I'm so jealous that the Philadelphia Flyers got Michkov. Red Wings weren't able to get him at the time, but I thought Montreal was silly, or it was Montreal that skipped on them. They went Reinbacher instead. Michkov. But the nice thing is Michkov wanted to go to Philadelphia, which is something crazy that he was like, he was saying he wouldn't come over for a long time, and then told Philadelphia, hey, I will actually come over for you guys. I really like you guys. So big fan of him on that team. So it's Michkov. That's easy. That's a nail. That's a knock out of the park. He's not going anywhere for a long time either. So Pittsburgh Penguins. As much as I don't want to say it, no, never mind. I can't say it. I do like Crosby. I know, as a Red Wings fan, I'm not supposed to like Crosby, but I do like him. I think he's a phenomenal player. My favorite player in the league outside of the Red Wings is Erik Karlsson. Huge fan of him when he came over to the San Jose Sharks in the Ottawa Senators trade, and still a big fan of him. He's not playing that great this year. 11 points, 22 games. I don't think it was a smart trade for the Penguins to pick him up. But to me, I don't know why you pick up. You have Erik Karlsson. You already have Letang, but I mean he's performing better than Letang right now. So I wonder what that says about it. Ooh. So, but Erik Karlsson is absolutely the number 1 favorite. So, going to Utah Hockey Club. Clayton Keller I think he's a grinder. He reminds me of Travis Konechny type player. Like he's just like a grinder type thing. I'm gonna go. So they have a ton of good. I just think I still see them as the Arizona Coyotes though. I got a couple though. I like Sean Durzi. I like Logan Cooley, Dylan Genther, and Clayton Keller. I'm gonna go Logan Cooley. I do like Logan Cooley a lot. He had a really good. They did a preseason game against the LA Kings when there was Arizona in Australia, and he had this like great like Michigan goal. It was crazy. Logan Cooley again, swag, high end player. I usually like high end players because they're just a ton of fun. So I'm gonna go Logan Cooley in this one, but Sean Durzi is pretty close right there. Sean Durzi is very close. Ottawa Senators. I don't like the Ottawa. This is a team that I don't like. So this one I got to try a little harder to try and find a player that I like. I mean, David Perron's kind of a cop out because he just got there and they signed it. Claude Giroux was like a flyer, and so it's like a easy one. But I don't like Brady. I think he's a whiny little bitch. I don't like any of these guys really. But I will pick one. Who is like a dude? All these guys suck. I do not like the Senators. I don't like anyone on this team. If I had to pick one, if I had to pick a person, I have to go. None of these guys are appealing. I don't know. Josh Norris. He was out for a long. No, it was not Josh Norris. Shane Pinto. Let's go Shane. No, because he had the gambling issues. We'll go Josh Norris. I don't know. No, okay. Let's pick someone I actually would do like. I like Tim Stutzle's game. I'll say a nice thing. I like Tim Stutzle's game. I like the way Brady stands up for his team. I think he does it in a kind of like a whiny baby kind of aspect. But I'm gonna go. Yeah, I can't lie. I'm just gonna go David Perron. I don't like anyone on this team yet. Sorry guys, I just don't like. I'm not sorry. I just don't like Ottawa. It's hard to get over one of those that it's Ottawa. I just don't like them. So I'm not. I apologize for it, but I'm taking it back. I'm not apologizing for it. Screw you, Ottawa. Not your fans. Your fans are great, I'm sure. Actually, they kind of suck on Twitter sometimes, but you know who I like in Ottawa? I like your goalie. I like Allmark, but I don't like. Actually, no, I like Allmark. I don't love Allmark. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we'll stick with David Perron in this one. San Jose Sharks, one of my favorite other teams. Jim Mikhail Granlund is killing it. 24 points in 22 games. I underrated trade. So there's a lot of guys that I like on this team. I like Tyler Toffoli, I like Jake Wallman, Celebrini, of course. I like Ty Dellandrea. There's a great trade, great pickup. Mario Ferraro is a great player as well. Costin, Liljegren. I mean, a lot of just like Giovanni Smith. I mean, a ton of good guys in here. I'm gonna go, and this one I am gonna go underrated. I'm gonna go Henry Thrun. I think he's a ton of fun. He was a trade from the Anaheim Ducks, and so I am a big fan of him. I think he's underrated in my opinion, and so I'm gonna go with that. So Henry Thrun. So I'm gonna text my wife back real quick and continue now. We got 3 more teams left. We got the Montreal Canadiens. Cole Caulfield's an easy one. I think that I do really like him. Kind of looking at some of the players here. I mean, Arbor Jacki is great too. I'm gonna go Cole Caulfield. I like Cole Caulfield because he's like, I like the underrated guys that are just kind of like small and kind of work hard. I like to bring Cat a lot for the Red Wings for that. And he's just like a young goal scorer, just really kind of grinds. To me, he's underrated. I think he will thrive. He kind of talks about like how he's like the 40 goal scorer. He's like the greatest not 40 goal scorer ever, or greatest 40 goal scorer who hasn't done it yet. And I'm excited to see him hit that this year, playing very well. I think he got 12 goals and 12 goals so far this series, and we're like a quarter way through the season. So at this pace, he's gonna hit like 48 goals, so which would be huge. So for Chicago, again, kind of team this kind of piece together, like the San Jose Sharks. Connor Bedard's great. Bertuzzi's pretty good. I really like Philip Kurashev. Big fan of him. Where's the other one I was looking at earlier? But I'm gonna go underrated. There's a guy that hasn't played that much. Only 6 games so far, but he has an affiliation to one of my players in the AHL. It's Arvid Soderblom, who is the brother of Elmer Soderblom for the Red Wings in their system. 6 games so far this year, only 1 win, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss, 2.36 goals against average. That's pretty good, and a .926 so far. I'm sure the competition he's playing against is a lot easier. But I think really like him. I think he's a fun goalie. Again, he's related to a guy in the Red Wings. So, and lastly, coming up, the greatest so far is the Nashville Predators. Going the Nashville Predators again. I'm gonna have to go goalie on this one. Big fan of UC Saros. Again, small guy, just kind of just thrives. So it's him and Philip Forsberg. I mean, the mustache and Philip Forsberg. He's just so much swag, dude. He's got so much to him. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with one of those. I mean, either or. I mean, it depends on the night, but UC Saros just stands on his head. I mean, how good is he this year? Because I'm wondering if it's goaltending is not really their issue though, because UC Saros is got a .916 save percentage and a 2.5 goals against average. So I don't think it's him. It's the rest of the team. They need to get figure out their shit. So, anyways, let me know what your favorite player is down below. Hit likes, hit subscribe. Really appreciate all the help you guys got here. And we're gonna move on to day 10 tomorrow. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Catch you soon and stay fresh.